purchasing a water tank, upgrading to an inverter AC, or buying a hybrid vehicle, we've got the green to help you go green. Fast approval, low interest rates, and Mother Nature approved. Your future self will thank you. Visit firstnationalbankonline.com or call 784-456-1501 for more information to help you turn your green dreams into clean realities. First National Bank, here for you.
WEFM, the clean, fresh sound.
WhatsApp us or call us at 457-9997. Activated Mornings on WEFM 99.9 is on now.
And the time here in SVG, it is 8:15, and we are back in another commentary segment for you on today's Activated Mornings program with Dianna and Roleza. And just a reminder that at 8:30, we will be conducting an interview with Mr. Grenville Williams. But it's more of an interactive session for constituents in particular of South Leeward to pose questions that you may have for him. All right. Of course, it's not just for the constituents. If you have anybody else from any other constituent has questions for him, it's fine. But yes, that is what is going to be happening come 8:30. All right, so I noticed that a few persons were trying to call before. Although we are going to have Talk to Us at 9:20. If you wish to, you can utilize this time to call if it's in relation to something that we discussed earlier. But let's get into this topic. What are some of the key issues in voting in 2025? And
we have a caller.
All right. Hi, Mr. Mason. Morning.
Pleasant. Good morning. How are you both?
Morning. Hi, good. What about you?
Me all right.
Yeah, all right.
You know, I like to shine on duty Monday morning, but you and Mr. Thompson, once you have your rumble in the jumble.
I know, right? Not could come between that.
Thank you very much for the energy you push into me in the morning before I get out of that. Really, thanks a lot.
All right. Good. I'm happy that I am able to do that, yes.
Yes, thanks. I mean, I do my exercise in the bed before I get up.
Okay.
Good morning, Anisha. Good morning, Kojo. Good morning, Josh. My lovely people. Anyway, you both have a good day, all right? And I'm on duty, okay?
Yeah, all right. Lovely. Thank you. Have a good one as well.
All right.
Okay, bye-bye.
Thanks a lot, okay.
All right. Hi. Hi, Serena. Morning.
Hi, good morning.
Morning.
How are you doing?
We good. What about you?
I'm okay. I'm blessed. I'm okay. Yeah, I was I hear the guy from Barbados, your old friend from Barbados was saying, and last night they did have a flood and a guy washed away and died. But like was saying, he have friends in Barbados, but then nobody never tell him. So he was saying that if they take Roleza that and they read it on the news, but I think he said yes. I didn't hear. You already read it on the news?
Somebody said it was read in the morning news, but it wasn't our news. It was probably news in brief or maybe another news segment.
Oh, okay. It's a sad. Yeah, condolences to the family. Well, the guy from Barbados, she said, I will speak to my two pumpkins in the morning.
So one person's called us angels, now you pumpkins? All right.
That's what he said, my two pumpkins. Okay, then you have a blessed day.
You as well. Thanks, Serena.
My daughter said to tell you all good morning, Chandel.
Morning, Chandel.
All right, then.
All right.
Okay, then, bye.
Bye-bye. All right. All righty. So let's is it safe to head in? Let me see if it's safe to head in. I'm going to talk real fast. All right. So we're going to be talking
Fast enough.
all right. Hi, caller. Good morning.
Good rising, ladies. Good rising.
Morning.
Amazing.
I hear about my voice too.
Yeah, that's is yeah.
Yeah, I always see my call. I see they recording my voice, something like that. I do something wrong somewhere. Still, let me go ahead.
Well,
You might hear me still. Something like Mr. Compton, Lloyd Compton. He said about people saying that no, I can't make it. I hear back my voice. Something wrong. I got to stop.
all right, call on the WhatsApp.
No, where there I am credit. I have data on either high Wi-Fi.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Something wrong.
Yes. Okay. All right.
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome. All right. So let's see if in 10 minutes, I think we might need to come back to this at another day, right? Maybe next week, Wednesday. All right. So the question is, what are the key issues in voting in 2025? And can anything persuade those who are not voting? So we recognize that we spoke about this morning, since Monday actually, about Mike Brown, who said that he is not voting this elections. I'm reading this from Eyewitness News. So something that few things he said. So all the persons will, of course, remember NDP's mismanagement of our nation, including poor health services, extremely high levels of illiteracy, dilapidated roads, very unreliable electricity and water services, and difficulties in obtaining salaries, to mention some. Now, I read this because this was interesting to me. I think because I've grown up under the ULP it's not all of my life. The early stages of my life was on the NDP, but my adult life was on the ULP. So like these things I wasn't aware of, right? The dilapidated road's still there, but like these other things that were happening, I wasn't aware of, which was interesting for me because I think sometimes what we also need to note as voters is sometimes where it is our country has come from. Now, mind you, it's not necessarily a case of saying that, oh, the ULP has done such great things, right? Some persons, if you choose to say that, you can choose to say that, right? But it's taken us from one particular level to another level. And it's just to see what was happening under the ULP, under the NDP's regime, and what is happening currently, right? So that was the reason why I read it. But I would also say this, that after 25 years, I would not be expecting some of these things to still exist, all right? So just something there to note. But to continue with the article, he said, sadly, our people will continue to be used as voting pawns in these elections where their influence is limited, all right? He spoke about campaign funds, etc. So he said, in this regard, our organization, Solidarity Rights, has produced a top 10 Vinci Rights list, which hopefully will illumine the manifestos of political parties. So in terms of the rights that persons should have or be looking at, is the right to free top quality healthcare, the right to safe neighborhood, the right to secure society, the right to free top quality education, the right to decent work, the right to join a trade union, the right to associate with any person or group, the right to hold and communicate ideas and beliefs, the right to land and housing, and the right to privacy of thoughts and home. All right. Now, so those are some of the things that that was mentioned in terms of what us as Vincentians should have rights to. And are some of these things currently in place, or are some of these things currently factors we should consider when it comes to voting in the next elections? Now, there was also an opinion piece written by Jomo Thomas, but this was since back in August, and it's titled Checking the Statisticians' Stats. So some of the things that he looked at in terms of what persons can consider when voting in next elections, or things to think about, will be COVID vaccine mandates, all right? We all know what that was, so I won't go into it. Another one is the beautification of the NDP electoral slate. Now, by saying beautification, he meant the introduction of certain new candidates on the slate for the NDP, which in his opinion has made that slate of candidates a lot more attractive, right? Another factor is the ULP's campaign of nostalgia is stale, right? Are persons just voting based on nostalgia? Are persons just voting on tradition? Are persons just voting on things that maybe, let's say, happened back in 2001 in the first term of their administration, and not necessarily looking at what is currently happening for them or within the country, right? He's saying that some citizens are worse off today. There's also another factor to consider of those persons who might be swing voters and the money factor, all right? So he says ULP's only possible saving grace is money. Right? The party has no developmental narrative except for mortgaging our future to their foreign friends. And it continues. All right. So these are some of the things that we're putting forward, and we're asking, what for you as a voter are some of the key things that you are going to look at when it comes to voting in this upcoming elections? And for those who are stating that they are not voting, can you be persuaded to do so?
Some of the other issues that persons have been speaking about are the ULP's handling of money. These are some of the things that they'll be looking at, or things that are issues in this voting season. They're looking at job creation and opportunities. The vaccine mandate, though some of us believed it would not have been an issue, it is still talked about because there are people who were affected, and it's not going to just go away from their mind, and some persons are just waiting, to say to get their lick back.
They kept it in their craw.
Some people are saying they just need a breath of fresh air. They say the place is just, it feels a little stifling, and they just, for those, some are crying out for that change because they feel like that. Some think help that persons received would be an issue, and more so personal help. What I got, how did you help me? And there is the issue as well of the new people who are going to vote for the first time. Where will they vote? You can't really say you have their statistics in mind because they've never voted before. Their statistics are nowhere. Then there are those who never voted before, but for some reason they feel like this is the do or die election and they are going out to vote. And then you have those persons who are now registered in new areas, which may cause the vote in that area to change. For example, if you're saying, let's take a constituency like South Leeward, that person say is an NDP constituency. You may have NDP stronghold. You may have persons who were displaced during burial who may have been living in South Leeward for a long time. If they've been living there for, I think it's 6 months, once you've been living in an area for 6 months, then you can register to vote there. And burial was how long ago? So it's been more than 6 months. So those new registrations in a new area may affect the things in a particular way. As it relates to the people who not voting, there are things that can persuade some of them to vote. A family or a friend, a close, maybe their spouse, partner, whoever, may be able to convince them that, hey, this time around, you should really vote. There may be something that a politician or a party hasn't done yet. Maybe that one thing. Now, how long they have left? A couple more days.
Because they're a week because it's next Thursday. So.
True. So they have a week. They may do something in that week. They may say something in that week, and that may cause somebody to say, "Okay, fine, I'm going out to vote. That is what I needed to hear." And then there are others who may not vote at all because their minds have been made up since the Rock of Gibraltar was a pebble, and they know they are not. It doesn't care what you say or do. They're not going out to vote. Some never voted before, so there isn't anything that would sway them because they've never voted, they've never been interested, they still aren't interested.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the thing. I think those who are just absolute, and I'm not even looking at, let's say, the 18-year-olds, those who are just of age to be able to go out and vote. I'm looking at those persons who are mature in terms of age, I would say past 25, right? Who are just adamant and insistent that they are not voted. I think those are the persons I'm a little bit more concerned about, because I just think that they need to be a part of the decision-making process. Now, I understand. In a sense, when you vote is a gamble, right? You are gambling with your future. You're gambling in terms of hoping that the party that you are supporting or you place your X for, they're actually going to come through with the things that they say that they're going to come through with, right? So it is going to be a quote unquote gamble that you're taking, but it's just persons not being a part of the process is what it is I have a big concern with. And as I alluded to on Monday, from an opinion piece that was in the newspaper on the weekend, when I looked at some of the constituencies where persons who were registered to vote, who did not vote, many of them are close to the 2,000 mark. In the constituency of East St. George, it was over 3,000 persons who were registered to vote who did not vote. And to me, that is concerning, right? Because you do have the power does lie with you. And as I keep saying, when it is that you have that power, you don't exercise that power, right? Then you turn around and you're critical of things. You're critical of not even just the government, but you're critical of the whole country because you want to then turn around and say, well, SVG is this and SVG is that. Then you had the ability to do something about it. But as I said, I don't know. And between now and I personally believe that persons have already made up their mind who it is that they're voting for. And if they haven't made up their mind in terms of who it is they're voting for, those who are insisting that they're not voting, I don't think that anything is going to change between now and then. But as we have already stated, each vote counts. So if you're able to convince at least one person to go on out and vote, you just never know how that could influence the outcome of the elections. So, yeah. And with that, we are heading on out of this segment as our guest is already in studio. So we'll be heading into that interview shortly.
3,